drop it the normal style.
Hey, Brass Facts here. Today, my review of the M&P 1522. Before getting started, got a bunch of new subscribers recently. Hey, thanks for checking me out, giving me a chance. Personal plug moment, consider joining the Discord and maybe the Instagram. You might like it, you might not. Okay, on with the video. I'll use my standard format here. First, a quick overview of the item in question, then observations, what I noticed during the review process in a objective fashion. Finally, opinion, what my thoughts on the product itself are from my point of view. I've timestamped it, thus, if you just want to look at the rifle, untainted by opinion or bias, then you can check it out, and then at the end of observations, hey, thanks for watching, and you don't have to see my opinion, because after all, what is my opinion really? I'm just a dude making videos on the internet. Also, at the end, I'm going to kind of talk about my use case for this rifle, because this thing is less of a tool and more of a training aid in my opinion, and I'll kind of get into my ways of using this rifle. Let's get started. The M&P 1522 is a 22 long rifle in the form of a AR-15 kind of form factor. In the day and age where ammo prices literally cost more than drugs, I'm not joking, rifles like this shine. Even with inflated prices that you have to pay for this, right? The price of this 1522 has gone upwards of $400, $500 most places where you can get it, when they usually go for half that. The version you see in the video is the 16-inch barreled M-Lock version. There are other versions. There's the quad rail ones, the 9-inch barrel pistol variants. They're all functionally identical. You can also get these in really creative colors. I'll give them till 2022 before they start embracing the weeb consumer boog boy market. Not going to get into the details here, but the ergos are basically AR-15 to the max. Safety, grip, handguard, barrel shroud. It's basic bitch stuff. It, however, uses proprietary mags that go for $20 to $30-ish depending on where you get it. They work fine. The bolt carrier, however, is proprietary. Stock is mil-spec style, so you can put on a Magpul or whatever. Bolt catch can be replaced with a mil-spec bolt catch. I think that's really about it. The only thing worth mentioning is 90% of this rifle is actually plastic. Handguard, plastic. Lower, plastic. Upper, plastic. The Picatinny rails up here, plastic. Barrels, no, barrel's not actually plastic. That's actually metal, along with the bolt carrier group and some of the rails on the inside. That's really the only metal parts. Is that a big deal? Yes and no. I'll get into it in a bit. There's a lot of things going on here, so I'm going to kind of hit this rapid fire. The rifle is, for starters, plenty accurate. Same accuracy as like a pistol caliber carbine at 25 yards, although I imagine it drops off significantly. Reliability is quite good until it gets dirty, and then it goes to shit, and this gets dirty fast. And I'm talking dirty from usage of the gun. I'm not talking about ingress of dirt or anything. So make sure you keep this thing lubed and cleaned. So, everyone knows, or most people know, I don't really clean my rifles that often, but this, you have to clean it. Now, you might say, hey, I want to practice malfunctions, which is fair, but considering you're already getting well in excess of what is normal malfunctions-wise while this rifle is clean, and then as the rifle gets dirty, you're going to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 in 10 malfunctions, I'd just recommend cleaning it and actually getting some good training in. You should be practicing malfunctions at home anyway. So yeah, clean this rifle a lot, otherwise you're just going to be clearing malfunctions all day instead of actually doing drills. Another thing I noticed, while using this rifle through the review process, I noticed the pistol grip keeps working its way loose, like really loose. So I tightened it up, and that worked for a little bit, and then it got loose sooner, and then tightened it, got loose sooner again. Finally, I realized the threads on the inside of the lower receiver were kind of disintegrating. Why? Because it's plastic, and if you over torque it, it will shred these threads essentially. Turns out, whoever put the aftermarket pistol grip on, I bought this thing used, over-tightened the shit out of it. Or maybe I over-tightened it, but, fuck personal responsibility, so we're going to blame the original owner here. Is this user error? Perhaps, but it's something to note that you are not getting the same level of durability, even with basic part swappage, that you were with a metal receiver. I'm probably just going to commit and just JB weld the whole thing on. We'll see. I think another thing to note is most people buying this rifle assume it's a AR-15 analog. That is, it's a 22 LR with an AR-15 body, and you can do AR-15 things with it. This is not fully correct. So not only are the lower and upper receivers not remotely M4 spec, but even subcomponents that look like they use AR-15 parts are not really set up right. So that puts a damper in a lot of build the exact same rifle as your main rifle setup. What do I mean? So for starters, the safety can be swapped, and I've noticed some people have swapped it with great success. However, because my safety is a little worn out, I guess, because the mil-spec safety doesn't really have good detenting. I'm assuming it's because it's a little loose. I think when this is designed, they actually oversized the plastic ever so slightly, such that the safety it comes with, which is plastic, kind of locks in there. I don't know. Like I said, other people have had success here, so data point of 1, I don't know. Secondly, the mag release. While it is a mil-spec mag release, you can put a mil-spec metal mag release in it, and it'll work. It will not actually work with aftermarket mag releases that are aimed at lefty usage. Because all of them kind of pivot off of the lower receiver, it doesn't work with this design. Why? Well, it turns out, if you notice here, the mag release is actually indented or recessed into the receiver. That is required for function. It needs to be like that to catch the magazine being inserted. So if you use a custom aftermarket lefty mag release, which actually pivots off of the lower receiver, it will pull this too far out. And yeah, you can't put a mag in. Or you can, but it'll just fall out right away. So yeah, kind of big bummer there, honestly. Furthermore, the handguard is not swappable as it stands. I cannot take a AR-15 spec handguard that I have lying around and put it on here. It requires a aftermarket adapter. They're not exactly expensive, but kind of further adds to the price and the tedium. Finally, if you're a lefty, you probably need to buy an ambi charging handle. They are not AR-15 design, nor does M&P sell one, so you'll need to go to the aftermarket here. These things are borderline mandatory because your rifle will get dirty and you will have forgot to clean it. You'll be doing like 5 to 10 malfunctions per mag, so you'll be doing a lot of them, and it's worth getting. Finally, some good news. Rifle has standard threads, thus works with suppressor. A friend of mine who also has one of these runs it always suppressed with his little cheapo suppressor. Works great. Alright, opinion. Okay. First off, I want to mention this whole review, honestly, maybe I should have mentioned this earlier. I'm viewing this as a rifle that you 100% buy to just use as an alternate training tool instead of 5.56/223. Not as a standalone 22 LR rifle that you do, 22 LR shit with. What do you do? Blast squirrels, shoot rodents, shoot trash in the desert, shoot people in the kneecaps? I don't know. Follow your dreams. Right out of the gate, as a lefty, it's a pretty big bummer. I can't really put an ambi safety on this without taking the Dremel out, which is however, for those that are born correct-handedly, it's still a mixed bag. Overall, it does its job well, and it does what it's meant to do, which is a training analog. But it's not outstandingly reliable. It's about standard, so to speak. Does it malfunction? Yeah, a fair bit. 1 in 30 when it's clean, which quickly degrades to maybe a third of that. Which is about, once again, standard for 22. Does it approximate an AR? Yeah, but not quite. Is it priced right? It depends when you get it. Honestly, if you bought this before the scare, it might have been worth it just to build out a 22 AR. The mags work, but they're open to the elements, so they constantly need to be cleaned. Is this thing built for hard use? Absolutely not. This thing's kind of falling apart on me. But did I ever expect it to last forever? I guess not. Alright, what the fuck am I getting at with this? Well, the thing is, you just buy this as a training aid. $300 with a bunch of cheap mags. Is it an excellent rifle? Ugh. But it gets the job done, and short of building a AR-15 out with a 22 LR barrel, CMNG bolt, the likes, this is about as good as it gets. This rifle could have been a lot better, sure, but it could also have been a lot worse. It does a lot more better than good with acceptable reliability, which is good considering how few 22 AR analogs there are on the market that work for training. Yeah, kind of unsatisfactory, but that's my opinion here. As a random aside, what is the point of this pistol variant? Like, do people buy these as something other than a training aid? That barrel handguard combo is way shorter than anything you should have on a 5.56 rifle, so I don't know. Actually, I think this might appeal to the group that carries 22 LRs in their bug-out bag because it lets them carry 200 and 300 rounds, and they actually believe 22s are terminally deadly because it bounces around in the ribcage. Okay, real quick, I want to get into some pointers using this. This is probably the most useful part of this video, to be honest. But some things I've noticed when training with it. So first off, a couple don'ts. Don't use this to replace all your training. These are not up to snuff to replace rifles. Static rifle training really revolves a lot around cadence, recoil control, staying on target. This does none of that, right? This recoils less than most airsoft guns. If you train with this, you will begin to get sloppy if that's how you're training. However, do use this rifle when you want to do a quick warm-up before you do the drill for real. Yes, cold drills are fun, and cold drills are actually very useful information for you. That being said, if ammo is really tight, which it has been for a lot of people, sometimes you just want to do the drill at full efficiency, and this lets you get those cobwebs off, learn the drill like a little bit, and then you can go into 5.56 and act. This MMP-22 really excels, however, when you're trying to isolate skills. What do I mean by that? For example, recently I've been trying to lead more with my eyes when I'm transitioning targets. Or if I'm working a corner, doing room clearing stuff, pieing corners, working my angles, testing new gears, working on night vision manipulation, right? If you're uncomfortable under night vision, this is an excellent tool. All of these drills I just described to you, you're focusing on a different skill that you're cultivating, practicing, training on. And the shooting of the rifle is really more of a secondary thing. In this scenario, the 22 is excellent. Basically, dry fire plus, for the lack of a better term. When I started using this, I could cut out a significant portion of wasted ammunition. Even in a regimented training session, you'd be surprised how much ammo just gets spent on essentially pointless stuff that isn't really a good rep or anything. And then, don't get me started, when the trash starts coming out and Americans engage in their favorite pastime of shooting trash out in the desert, this thing could probably really shine. You could just hand this off to one of your friends instead of giving him your 5.56 rifle. Disclaimer, please don't be that guy that brings a fucking washing machine out to the desert to shoot. Alright, maybe I should have scripted this one a bit more because I've gotten super judgmental in this video, getting a little sassy, so we'll wrap it up there. Alright, hey, that's been some brass facts for you. If you enjoy this kind of content, consider subscribing, or don't. It is what it is. We'll see you guys around.